Immigration and Customs Enforcement has a pretty tough job. They have to enforce laws that a good portion of the country wants to be enforced in practice but wants to be overthrown in speech. The constant contradiction that is the left, of course, doesn't want to be bothered by the illegal immigrants moving into their neighborhoods and acting like heathens, but at the same time, they want someone to deal with the problem. Unfortunately, the problem is a heck of a lot bigger than just finding a bed for them to sleep in. If that were the case, we could just pass they hadn't built an apartment building every time we got another batch of illegals. The issue at hand is that their illegal activity didn't end with hopping a wall or overstaying a visa, as the media would have you believe. These outlaws are continuing on with the atrocities that made their country uninhabitable in the first place, and they are doing it whenever they squat. In this particular case, a gang of them found themselves in the sanctuary city of Long Island, New York. Big surprise that one of the cities that are giving out prizes for being criminals is having a disgusting crime problem. And it's not just the amount of crime that's disgusting, it's the crimes themselves. Via Breitbart News, enforcement removal operations. Aero officers of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agency arrested 32 criminal aliens previously convicted of sex crimes in the sanctuary jurisdiction of Long Island, New York. The arrests came during Operation Source Sex Offender Alien Removal, a 10-day operation that ended on August 3. Aero officers rounded up 32 criminal aliens previously convicted of sex crimes including sexual abuse, sexual assault on young children, rape, child endangerment, and promoting sexual performance of a child. The previously convicted are reported to have illegally entered the U.S. from Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, Honduras, India, Mexico, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, according to information obtained by Breitbart Texas from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials. Let me break this down for you, just anything is lost in translation. These illegals were picked up for horrible, disgusting criminal sexual acts with children, and instead of making sure this never happened again, they got a slap on the wrist, the most severe of which was to deport them, but then let them right back in. Nothing preventing them from returning to their former, filthy life, preying on the children of our country or children of their country, whatever, they're still children. Breitbart. The criminal history of the illegal aliens arrested, many of whom received previous deportations, include acting in a manner to injure a child, assault, third-degree attempted rape, burglary, attempted sexual abuse, criminal sex act, endangering the welfare of a child, endangering the welfare of a physically disabled person, forcible touching, promoting a sexual performance by a child, public lewdness, first-degree rape, second-degree rape, third-degree rape, reckless endangerment, first-degree sexual abuse, second-degree sexual abuse, sexual abuse, forcible compulsion, sexual contact with an individual incapable of consent, and sexual misconduct. ICE's continuing commitment to making our communities safer is underscored by operations like this one targeting sexual offenders. These actions focus our resources on the most egregious criminals and promote public safety in the communities in which we live and work, New York Field Office Director Thomas R. Decker said in a written statement. Aero officers are out there every day enforcing immigration law with targeted enforcement actions. ICE will not waver in its promise to arrest and remove criminal aliens from our neighborhoods. If this doesn't enrage and horrify you, you've obviously lived a very charmed life. The idea that in America the beautiful is allowing our children to be brutally defiled by those who prance in without a care and take up residence wherever they please, with no concern for our laws, is an atrocity that would make the founding fathers roll over in their graves. It's time to take our nation back and implement punishment for these crimes that will make those who commit them unwilling to risk repeat offenses. Maybe sending them home is just the first step, but it's a great place to start. More from our source about the details of those arrested. ICE officials reported a sampling of those arrested, including a 24-year-old Salvadoran national who was arrested and charged criminally with first-degree sexual abuse and sexual contact with a victim less than 11 years old. Criminal charges are still pending. The victim in this case is a 4-year-old female. He was arrested in Wyandanch, August 3 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal from the United States. A 36-year-old national of Guatemala with a prior conviction of second-degree rape and endangering the welfare of a child. The victim in this case was a 13-year-old female. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 10 years of probation supervision. The registered Level 1 sexual offender was arrested in Brentwood August 2 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 32-year-old Honduran man with prior convictions of criminal sexual act in the third degree, forcible touching, endangering the welfare of a child, and sexual abuse in the third degree. He was sentenced to 10 years of probation supervision. The victim in this case was a 15-year-old female. He also has prior convictions of driving while intoxicated. This registered level 1 sex offender was arrested in Brentwood, August 1st and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 38-year-old citizen and national of Ecuador with a prior conviction of the sexual misconduct with a 15-year-old female victim. He was arrested in Central Islip, August 1st and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 55-year-old Salvadoran man convicted of second-degree rape and sentenced to 1 year in jail. The victim in this case was 12 years old. He was arrested in Copiag, July 27 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal from the United States. A 21-year-old Haitian man with a prior conviction of 2 counts of promotive sexual performance by a child less than 17 years of age and sentenced to 10 years of probation supervision. The victims in this case were both 15 years of age. He was arrested in Riverhead, July 27 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 36-year-old Salvadoran man convicted of third-degree rape and sentenced to 10 years of probation supervision. The victim in this case was 15 years old. He was arrested in Glen Cove, July 25 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 46-year-old Salvadoran national with a prior conviction of endangering the welfare of a child was sentenced to 3 years probation. The original charge was sexual abuse in the first-degree sexual contact with an individual less than 11 years old. The victim in this case was 7 years old. He was arrested in Mineola, July 25, and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. A 45-year-old citizen of Trinidad and Tobago convicted of third-degree rape of a victim incapable of consent and sentenced to 5 years of probation supervision. This level 1 sex offender was arrested in East Hampton, July 29 and will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. Source: Breitbart News. Share if you're tired of illegals getting a free pass.